All is right in the world because Pauly Shore is back in Philadelphia, ladies and
I'm kind of like the
gentlemen.
Dave Chappelle of this hour.
Yes.
You know, it all built. You got 17 guests. You got 17 guests, and then finally Chappelle at the end.
Yeah.
Because I was there that night.
When he got tackled.
Yeah, when he got tackled. But it was literally, I mean, I've been around comedy since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I seen everything. This show was amazing. It was almost like it's at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yep.
It was almost like a full moon. And it just built. I mean, the opening comic was, I think, Michelle Wolf.
Okay.
Or Leslie from Saturday Night Live.
Jones?
Leslie Jones. It just built. And then Earthquake. And then Sebastian. And then Jon Stewart. Then Chris Rock.
What a build.
And then it just like, you know what I mean? It was 18,000 people and it was awesome.
It was Netflix as a joke, right? So they had
Yeah.
the big festival. So
Yeah.
did you hear what just happened with the dude who rushed the stage?
Yeah, he tried to
kni-
beat up his roommate.
He knifed his roommate.
Yeah.
He attacked his roommate with a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not
They
like
probably
he,
tried to raise his rent. That's right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, come on.
So you brought up being raised around the comedy.
Yeah.
Mitzi Shore, the late great. All this time spent
She's
in
still alive, by the way. She's sitting in the corner. What do you mean the late great? I'm still here. What the hell's going on, Pauly? Tell him. Come on.
the
No,
incidents.
it's cool. That's what's cool about it at the Comedy Store now.
Yeah.
Even though she's not there, she's there, and it
Yes.
just feels like her. So
You can't
that's why
reference
for
it.
me it's very emotional. To be there. I moved to Vegas. That's why I saw Piff earlier.
Yeah.
I tried to say hi to him. He's like, oh, this guy. And he kept walking. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to take his showroom. You know what I mean? It's very aggressive out there with these showrooms.
Gotta be.
You know, I'm thinking about Tanya Harding, Carrot Top, to get into theater, bro. He's been there long enough.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
You could break his legs.
you know what I mean? Just smash his kneecaps.
You made Tanya Harding a verb.
Yeah. But
He's less buff now, though. By the
yeah.
way, he's slimmed down. I think it can
yeah.
take him.
And the girl, she came in here and did the splits, hit the floor, the whole building shook.
I know. I felt the
hell's
too.
going-
I was wondering about the people below us.
What the hell's going on? She's very aggressive with that.
yeah.
But yeah.
Hey,
So-
did your mom build the Comedy Store from the ground up? Did she start it or take over at some point?
No, my dad did.
Your dad did. Okay.
Yeah, and then they got a divorce, and then she always wanted to run the club, and he wanted to tell jokes.
It's the
So, yeah.
it's the absolute heartbeat of comedy.
Yeah,
I mean, that
it's
is
home. It's
yeah.
home for everyone.
It's
you know?
incredible.
Yeah, it's home.
What
I
a
mean, so
legacy.
you talked about seeing them all. I mean, you've from Sam Kinison to Robert Williams, all of the legends, all the way straight through. But I mean, we talk about the Chappelle thing. It seems
Chappelle is literally at like some godlike image.
Yes.
I mean godlike. There's like it's almost like there's Elon Musk and everyone else.
Right.
So it's the same thing with, and actually Elon Musk was at the show.
Oh, that
was
night?
at the show and
Yeah.
that night, and I was sitting literally right behind him. And Chris Rock did a really funny Elon Musk joke, but I can't say it on the air because it's radio and we'll get closed down.
Right.
But it was a pretty remarkable night. But what was crazy is Dave gave me like front row seats. Like I had really good seats there, and I was sitting next to this comedian named Tehran, and I have a pee problem. Okay, so I had to like get up to pee at the end, and that's the moment that the crazy guy jumped over and sat in my seat.
No.
And then jumped on the stage. So I think I'm the reason
Oh my God.
Must be.
why this whole thing happened. So Dave should cut me in on some of the cash because the next night Dave was in the belly room, basically did a whole 45 minutes on what
being
happened.
attacked.
It was genius, dude.
So the dude who ran up on stage jumped into your
Yeah,
seat before
because
he
I
did
have a
that.
pee problem.
All right, like a prostate thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pee problem.
Yeah,
You know where you
okay.
have to pee. I might have to pee in a second. But I got a catheter, so I'm good. I'm just peeing right now. I'm good.
So you have to go to the bathroom all the time.
Not anymore. I got the surgery.
What was the
last week.
surgery?
It's called Resume. So it makes you resume how you pee again. That's
Okay.
pretty much it. Yeah, it was crazy because I don't know. I just guys when they get 50, they pee a lot.
Yes.
So I took a prescription called Flomax.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
the
yeah.
It was
commercial all the
endorsed
time.
by Joe Theismann. I'm like, the guy's dead. Why is he? Why is this guy? I don't want this. So I took that for a while, and there's 3 different levels of piss operations.
Okay.
There's the one I forgot the name. Then the second one is the resume, and the third is chirp. You don't want the chirp.
What's the term?
The chirp is when they steam it and staple it and do all this stuff.
Oh, man.
So I went with the. I have a gay urologist. His name's Henry Kim out in
Right.
I mean, that's a great gig, right?
Yeah.
If you're gay to be a urologist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, let me see your penis. I'm like, dude. He goes, I'm your urologist. I'm like, oh. He's like, ooh, yeah, ooh. No, so it was an interesting procedure. I won't make this long because I don't know. I know my time is sensitive on
you're
this
good.
channel.
Were you under? Or was it
Yes.
a local? Or what did they do?
They put you under, and it's a 15-minute procedure. They basically stick a catheter through your penis.
Wow.
And it goes all the way through your bladder.
Right.
And then they inject this serum, and it pumps up this bubble. So then the bubble. Yeah, there it is. So then the bubble.
We're looking at
doesn't
an
break.
animation, okay?
It's
So
just, does it give
basically,
you more
have
room?
a pee bag. You have a pee bag for a week. They
Ah.
steam your prostate. So like, in about 3 weeks to a month, I should not be peeing. You know, it's just called emptying your bladder.
Right.
Because a lot of times guys will go. You'll go pee in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
and then you'll lie down. And you go,
Sucks.
wait a minute, there's still more pee left.
Right.
So it basically you get up, 3 or 4 times, and I just. I don't want to live that way. So
No, I had prostate cancer in 2014,
Oh,
and so
wow.
they took the prostate out and everything. I
Can I have it? You can check it out. You have an extra one? I can put it in my ear. We can bring it with Piff and the dog.
it'll be
And
great.
we can smash it down on the floor with that babe.
But right after that, I was peeing one time a night, where I was doing it like 7 or 8 times.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like you can't even get a good night's sleep because
Yeah.
you're.
And the worst is because I always get like a window seat on the airplanes.
Oh, dude.
So like, dude, when I would travel, and I fly coach because I'm cheap, and so I would always have to hop over people. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, 7 times. I'm like, sorry, bro. I have
Yeah.
to pee, man. Let me through.
That's
you
why
know?
I do.
Not anymore.
Just for the hell of it, I just do the aisle because it gives you, first off, one leg can extend out a little further, which is
Yeah.
good. And second off, if you do have to
Yeah,
go to the bathroom.
to trip the babes.
Yeah,
when they
to
come
the
by.
babes, yeah. So you're in Vegas, right? You're talking
Yeah,
about,
I'm in Vegas.
Right.
I work on Fremont Street. There's a big difference.
Okay.
See, yeah, these guys, they have big theaters.
Right.
Me, I'm on Fremont Street.
they call
pop
Vegas, right?
blocking. Yeah, downtown, pop blocking for quarters. I had this little black midget with no arms and no legs, and he's got his boombox right next to me.
Wow.
And we just pop block, dude.
All right.
I got my strawberry daiquiris. You know what I mean?
It's
I like Fremont Street because those are my people.
Fremont used to be Vegas. That
Yeah.
was, but they did.
Now
do
it's just for the crazies.
Is that where you can zip line? Do you
Yeah.
zip
Yeah.
lines down?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
and it's got
Yeah.
that laser light
Yeah.
show over
The ceiling lights
Yeah.
up. and-
Yeah.
I want to see you pop lock while you're zip lining down.
I'm not doing that here, bro. I can't follow her.
The jumping split.
I've seen their show. It's a great show.
Yeah.
So do I see rumblings that Bud and Doyle might have more life
Yeah.
left in them? A Bio 2, possibly?
Yeah, it
Biodome
was
2?
an interesting Zoom about, I don't know, 3 days ago with the producers from the original, and then me and Stephen Baldwin. And yeah, they're seriously talking to Amazon. And, Amazon bought MGM.
Yeah.
So Amazon bought all their titles. So MGM was a Biodome film.
Yeah.
So it's really looks like it's happening. And the story that this guy wrote, because it's always about the story at the end of the day. I mean, everyone can sit around and go, let's do a sequel, but what's the story?
Right.
So Bud and Doyle go to Mars. So
with
Elon
Elon
Musk
Musk.
and Jeff Bezos.
Well, yeah, because they've already,
It's actually-
lived in that atmosphere.
Yeah, this guy Peter, the writer's name is Peter Hoare, believe it or not.
Peter Hoare.
Yeah, Peter Hoare, and he's a great writer. He's writing for something for Michael Rappaport right now, and he's just very talented, and he just knocked it out.
Would you
This
have
idea? Yeah.
any of the other cast, like Kylie Minogue or?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I assume there'll be some, but I think it's such a, it's early. Sorry, it just kind of it
Lends
makes
itself?
it current.
Oh, okay.
Well,
going
they
to
just did
Mars.
Bill and Ted's, and that actually worked very, very well. So this is of that time.
This will hopefully be better than Bill and Ted's sequel.
Yes,
I think it's funny that Stephen Baldwin is Justin Bieber's father-in-law. There's something about that whole combination that just. Are you still buddies with Stephen?
Yeah, I talk to him all the time.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he's great.
Maybe
yeah.
you could get Justin to do a cameo.
Yeah,
We could.
Well, what about Encino Man 2? We've heard
That's
as well.
happening too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all. It's all coming back. Everyone's realizing, like, wait a minute, those Pauly Shore movies actually weren't that bad. You know, well, thanks, guys. 30 years later.
Whoever said they were bad? I
Well, the
enjoyed all
critics,
of them.
if you read the critics, you know what I
I don't
mean?
listen to 'em.
They thrashed me pretty bad.
I tell you what happens is, and this is like if you even look at like Quentin Tarantino and all the people that he loved, that he was enamored of, ended up in the movies, and now you have to be on the radar of a lot of these guys who are in positions of power who loved Encino Man and Biodome. And
Son-in-law.
and
I
Son-in-law.
loved Son-in-law.
Yep.
Tiffany
I should say
Amber Dees.
love.
Yeah. No, the movies that I made, always put everything I do. I always put my heart into it, and I think my heart, you can tell, and I think that's why, 20, 30 years later, the films, still hold up because people could tell I really care. I care. I don't phone it in.
How long did Totally Pauly run on MTV?
probably
Because I was a huge
6 years.
fan of that.
Yeah, 6
That
years.
long?
I'm actually trying to bring that back too.
Really?
Yeah. So if
Okay.
your callers want to hit up MTV, who's just be like, because I've been doing a lot of MTV stuff.
Right,
I do the ridiculousness all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Rob Dyrdek, he's always doing that. So they're always calling me up to do that. MTV Cribs called me 2 weeks ago. They want to do my Cribs. So I'm going, let's bring back Totally Pauly.
Yeah.
But we call it Totally Crusty now.
Oh, Totally Crusty. All
Crusty,
right.
bro.
Yes. Isn't that the name of your band?
Yeah, the Crusties.
The Crusties. Okay.
Yeah, the Crusties. Yeah, I got a band too. We're running around Vegas too. Yeah.
You know what the thing is? You sit right in the center of pop culture of that time. And Preston, we were talking about this. I mean, you were everywhere. I mean, you had maximum cred with the musicians because of the MTV, but on the comedy side too, you were with the Sam Kinnisons and the other people that we were mentioning. So that alone, I mean, you've done sort of biography stuff, but everyone's revisiting that. There's a whole series on now about the creation. It's before that.
Is this is this a series called Our Father with the insemination with the semen?
Right. But I mean, you could be the focus of this whole
I
research.
think
Preston, didn't you just tell me to
someone
watch
wants
that?
me to play him like if they do a real movie.
Yeah.
Well, you know the story on Netflix. It's about a guy that it's called Our Father. Just to make it quick, he basically.
saw it.
Preston was just talking about it.
Yeah, he basically. Well, you can tell him that.
No. I'm just saying. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. So
Yeah.
basically, he never put the semen that the woman requested. He put his semen.
Right.
So it's in a small town in Indiana. So 30 years later, everyone looks the same, and now everyone's dating and married. So it's total inbreeders.
Yeah. It's
So,
like
but I want to
100
play
people.
him if they ever do a movie.
Yes.
Yo, babe, here. Yeah, this is Steve Seaman. Here you go, babe. Open your legs for me. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Would that be funny?
Well, how-
You do it a comedy version.
That would be a better version.
But dude, that's hilarious. And then we cut to 30 years later, and everyone's walking around. I think it's great.
Well, you were very active in the height of your, career, right? I mean, you were the it guy for a
I
while.
was spinning all the plates at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was in my 20s. Yeah.
Did you sowed the proverbial oats? I assume with a lot of.
Spreading your seed all over the place.
I would know. I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm sure.
I mean,
I don't have kids. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you're good. You went to the. Then I remember seeing you. You were a Playboy Mansion guy, and there was that. I was just watching that.
I'm not in the Jeffrey Epstein special. Dude. Stop trying to. People are like, "Why don't you watch that?" I'm scared to see me in the background.
That's the last thing you need.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Wait, I'm in the back, with the bean dip with Donald Trump. Wait, is that the Pauly Shore? Yeah, in the back.
Pauly Shore?
Thank God I never went to the Jeffrey Epstein Island. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I mean, just
Seriously.
being invited to the island, you're all of a sudden,
Yeah.
I never knew that guy.
Good.
But I never knew that
That's
guy.
a good thing. Yeah. What was it like? What was the Hef thing like
The
at the
Hef
time?
thing was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an honor.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Because it was like, the history at the time, 70s, 80s, 90s,
Huge.
Playboy, there was, cheesy celebrities.
Yeah.
I was one of them. And Bill Maher was there all the time. You had Lorenzo Lamas there all the time. You had Alan Thicke there.
Wow.
You had, I was there before the whole Bill Cosby thing.
Yeah.
Or no, after the Bill Cosby thing, because I think he was there in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
But
you-
I was like in the 90s and yeah.
Are you surprised that you survived the 90s? I mean, with as hard as everybody was going back then, partying hard.
You know what? I never went that hard.
Really?
No.
Okay.
You couldn't have had the career you had because you
No.
were everywhere
I
and do
never-
that.
I mean, you
No,
saw
because I grew up, because I hear so many stories. Who did I hear? Okay, Ron Rice just died.
right.
You know who Ron Rice is?
I don't know.
He was the owner and creator of Hawaiian Tropics.
Okay.
So Hawaiian Tropic contest down in Daytona
Oh
Beach.
yeah, sure.
You know,
yeah.
you had Fabio there. It was just like this big. It was a big deal. Like the Hawaiian Tropics was like kind of like it was the Daytona Beach version of the Playboy Mansion.
Right. Yeah.
So like I'm surprised. I won't be surprised if Donald Trump doesn't go to the Hawaiian Tropic funeral of Ron Rice.
Yeah.
That's how
Because
big he was.
Yeah, I don't know what I was going with this.
No,
Sorry,
you-
I got
you-
confused.
If you
It's
survive,
hard.
He survived.
survive
he
in the
lived
90s
hard.
and
Oh
go
yeah,
partying hard.
yeah. What I was saying is that I grew up at the Comedy Store. My dad was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a bunch of drug addicts around me everywhere. So I learned what not to do by watching these guys. Also, financially, I saved my money too.
Okay.
So I learned what not to do with that as well. So I made right when I started making money, I saved my money and I bought homes and I still own them. So
Smart.
So I just it was a great. So what my point that I'm trying to say is you always hear about people that grew up in a crappy environment that turned out to be junkies.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
That's not the environment. That's your choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's better if you learn what not to do through your parents or through the people around your parents. And then I had that, and then I was just fortunate not to have that that gene in me where I have to have more than 2 glasses of wine.
Okay. Yeah.
You know
I'll
what I
tell you
mean?
what,
like
like,
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? Like, dude, just have 2 glasses of wine, bro. You don't need to drink 6 bottles. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
And Johnny Depp and that whole thing, that's really sad to me. You know, that it's just out on display.
Yeah.
Out on display for everyone. And it's just kind of like, it just makes you feel kind of, right?
It's so bizarre. Like, I still
It's
don't
just not
understand
cool.
it. No.
Do you know what blows my mind is that they'd done it. They'd done the trial. They had the outcome. If you just let it breathe, most people would have forgotten everything from that.
Correct.
And they they stirred it up again.
And now it's on TV.
every-
Yeah. I mean, have you
watching it
ever
every day? It's
been with
on YouTube. I mean, you can
Well,
stream
it's
it.
you know on both their defenses,
Yeah.
both their careers are screwed up right now.
Right.
So financially, Johnny's used to running pretty hard financially, making movies and making all this money, and I assume with her too.
Yeah.
So because of this publicity on both of them, it's tarnished them and it's made them not appealing to the Hollywood executives and stuff like that. So I assume they're doing it so when this thing is over, they have some sort of cash.
But Paul, you don't think in
live.
time, because it seems like if you do, enough time goes by, and you know Hollywood far better than do we, but that you do your mea culpa, you do the cover of People magazine, a Life in Transition, or whatever the hell is, and then you're forgiven and get back up and running.
Correct.
Do you think were they too impatient, or if they had let it breathe a little bit longer, they could have gotten?
I don't live in their bodies and I
Yeah.
don't live in their life, so
Yeah.
I can't answer that. So I
Right.
don't know how gnarly it was for them,
Right,
or how
right.
gnarly it is for them.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's just wild to see this stuff brought back up again, and with more focus on it than the first time.
Yeah.
If you're just jumping in, Pauly Shore is performing at Punchline tonight and Saturday. There's 2 shows each night.
I'll also be pop locking in front of the Piff Theater at midnight.
Now this isn't your one man show, right? This is different.
No,
this is
no, just straight stand up.
straight stand. What's the one man show?
The one man show's pretty cool. So it's everyone always asks about my childhood.
Yeah.
So to respond to that, I'm like, okay, I'll do a one man show about my childhood. So it's called Stick with the Dancing, because that's what my mom said to me after she saw me perform.
Oh
Because I went on
You gotta love
stage
her.
when I first started doing stand up. I was 17 years old, and I stayed away from the Comedy Store because it's Mitzi's son,
Yeah.
So I worked other places, and then finally it became time for me to go in front of her, and she's sitting there with Louis Anderson and Paul Mooney. She's like, "Who's next?" And Paul Mooney's like, "Oh, Paulie's next." She's like, "Oh, get me a cigarette." And then I did my show. I did my jokes, and there were jokes that other comedians wrote for me, And then I ended with pop locking.
no. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And then how did I do? Stick with the dancing. So it's pretty much like, the people that do still know me, they know me from the movies and MTV and that time, but they don't know the childhood. So it's all the stories leading up to it before I made it. So it's called Stick with the Dancing. And I just did it in New York, did it in LA, I'm doing it in Vegas, and I'm just kind of, it's almost like Mike Tyson's Undisputed Truth.
Right.
So if you saw that, which was, I was very inspired by it.
Spike Lee directed
Yeah,
that.
it was a great one-man show. So I'm trying to do like, I guess the more comedic version of that.
Any plans to commit that to film or do like
yeah,
they do?
we have a deal with a production company called Radical Media.
Yeah.
Who does a lot of productions out in LA, and then Mike Binder's going to direct it. So yeah, we're, so we'll put that out.
So
Yeah, I'd love
And
to
then
see
I
that.
also I just came out in the voice of Pinocchio.
We saw that.
This
Yeah,
is
so
a
that
big
was
meme. This
cool.
is huge. This thing,
Yeah.
you are, and people are loving hearing you
Yeah.
as Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at how much it's taken off? Because people,
Absolutely not. I'm a superstar.
they're grabbing clips though, and they're popping up on.
When
TikTok?
I just did it. I dove into it. I created this character, and then it went viral, and people enjoyed it, and I'm happy that people enjoyed it, and people enjoyed it. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
So,
Did you like doing the animated stuff? Yeah.
I like doing everything.
Yeah, and Tom Kenny is on that as well. He plays Geppetto. Were you guys ever in the studio
We
together?
were never in the studio.
Oh, that's
together.
That sucks.
Yeah. But it was cool. I mean, it's the yassification of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
So it's cool. So I think, the next Pinocchio 2 that I do, we should make him trans. I think it would be good. Have him have a little wooden PP and a wooden vagina. Mix it up.
get it all
I didn't
good.
think of that, both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Which
wood.
one grows?
Yeah, exactly.
His vagina gets huge.
Yeah.
He lies.
So, no, that was cool.
Wow.
And then
I just told a lie. You can tell by the echo.
Wow. So back in Philly, it's been our dates say 2018 was the last time that
okay,
you were
so
here.
that's what 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That's right after my mom passed, huh? Or was it right before?
I think it was
she
before.
passed?
Right before, yeah.
What was the actual date?
August 17th, 2018.
So she passed April 11th.
Okay.
When were you doing?
Right after.
Yeah, it was after.
You were doing minding the store
That was in, man, that was 2005.
reality show.
Oh, wait. No, 2005, yeah.
Right. Do you like doing that, quote unquote? I mean, reality stuff, or because your life, I think, would lend itself to it.
I just like doing whatever it is that I'm doing.
Okay.
So it's, at that time that made sense. And you know what I mean? People always ask me what my favorite movie was. And I always tell them the same thing. It's whatever movie I was doing at that time. So like Encino Man worked really well right off of MTV. And then I did Guest House a couple years ago. That worked good too because that was a little gnarlier and that did well for me.
And totally, Pauly had elements of reality
Everything,
television.
yeah.
Was
Yes.
someone was just following you around doing stuff. And Son-in-Law came from an episode of one of those, right?
Yes, it kind of did. Yeah, because I was very organically developed on the Sunset Strip, West Hollywood, and then we took Fish Out of Water, and you brought that character into the Midwest and into the farms, and that made sense. And it was just a really good kind of structured film, and it's simple.
I loved it.
Simple. Yeah.
It's interesting talking to you today because we've had you on many times, but I never realized how deliberate your whole career has been, and how because you sort of portray yourself as like
Well, I try to come across funny.
well, no, you are funny, but
I mean, I try to. No, but it's an interesting point because I'm like you guys. I watch social media all the time.
Yeah.
And everyone is like serious and this and that. And then I saw this clip from Pee Wee Herman, and I'm like, this is hilarious. And I'm like, that's how I want to come across.
Yeah.
I always want to just be funny because everyone's else, doing motivational things. I love when these girls with the fake boobs that are 300 cc's, they crop the video right below their boobs, and they're trying to give like advice about life.
Right.
Meanwhile, their boobs are like taking up half the screen.
Yep.
And I'm just like, but they're serious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is nuts.
No.
Sorry.
All right. Well, listen, Pauly, it is great to see you, sir.
No. I'm not leaving. You
We're
guys
not leaving.
leave.
That's
it. All right.
You guys leave.
It's
You guys leave. I'm going to take over the station. Me and the Piff Dog. We're going to come back here.
Mr. Piffles.
Mr. Piffles.
No, but all seriousness, you guys are iconic here. And thank you for having me. And I'm glad you guys are still here.
Thank you.
Because of what's going on in the world.
Oh, thanks.
You know how everything is shifted.
Yep.
And it's cool. So hopefully you guys will be here another 30 years.
Yeah. Well, we just re-signed. So
You got
we're-
good.
yeah.
You got to get a piss bag though.
Yes, she's going to need one of
I'm all
those.
taken care of.
Nice. at Punchline tonight, tomorrow, 7:30, 9:45. Don't miss your chance to see Pauly Shore. Thank you for being here,
Yeah,
Pauly.
peace out, dude.
Pauly Shore, guys. Outstanding.